Right. So 11.32. Sri Bhagwan Uvacha Kalo Asmi Loka Kishaya Krit Pravriddho Lokan Samartam Iha Pravrittaha Rite Api Tvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve Ye Avastita Prati Anikeshu Yodha. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. 11.33 Tasmat tvam utishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samriddham मायेवते निहतः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भवा सव्यसाचिन्. Translation: Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom, and they are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. 3-4 द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यन् अपि योद्धा वीरान् मया हतां त्वं जहिमा व्यतिष्ठः युध्यस्व रणे सपत्नान्. Translation: Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Right. Okay. So this chapter is about the um, universal form of the Lord. So this is what we have been discussing. Arjuna has been um, giving detail as to um, what he has seen, what his experiences are, and he has been glorifying and he has been asking questions like that. So this is related to that. So in the first sloka, 11.32, Arjuna has described the universal form. His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu um, gives detail to this thing, his explanation. Then he described his reactions to various features, whatever he observed in that universal form, his perception of that universal form. He was surprised, he was shell shocked, like this is not something you ever imagined. This is how it is. He was saying so many strange things there. Um, I mean, the way he perceived Krishna, and this is how Krishna is. He's showing his another form. So all that reaction related to that, his perception of the universal form, and then he described his own emotions, and then he sees that um, describes when as part of his descriptions, containing descriptions, he's describing. Then he sees that then we see that his focus of the vision suddenly shifting to the battlefield back to see various. Then he sees that various warriors they are getting destroyed um, on both sides, and this is his vision. I mean, this is what he's seeing. And then Arjuna concluded with the question. I mean, his friend Arjuna, who also was acting as his guru, after seeing the universal form, he is saying, Arjuna concluded with the question, "Who are you?" So, from verse 32 onwards, His Grace Chaitanya Prabhu gives detail that this Vishwa, now the Vishwarupa speaks. Here, this time, the Kala Rupa is very shown that he is very merciful towards Arjuna, whereas the same Kala Rupa, which has been indicated that it is ferocious towards non-devotees. So Sridhar Swami, who's Ishtadeva Ishta Devta is Lord Narasimha Deva. And so Sridhar Swami says that, he gives an example. Just like the lioness is ferocious towards everyone except her cubs, because she lifts the cubs even in although she lifts the cubs with her own teeth. These are like affection. These don't hurt the cubs. These don't. This is to protect them. This is with care. But she would use the same teeth to uh, to fight or kill the enemies or threat or to get food also. So similarly, Lord Narasimha Deva is um, very caring towards his devotees, whereas he acts exactly opposite towards non-devotees or who are threat to devotees or who are threat to who are like demoniac. So to those, so he acts just differently, opposite to the way he acts with devotees. So Krishna is explaining that. So Arjuna, even if you don't fight, I have come here as time and I will destroy everyone. So one thing is for sure, this destruction is already set. It is already going to happen. This is for sure. It's indicated in this universal form also, the way both sides of the warriors were getting killed. So this is the divine arrangement. So in Katha Upanishad it is mentioned, Yasya Brahma cha Shatram cha Ubhe Bhavata Odana Mrityur Yasyo Upasejanam Ka Ittha Veda Yatra Sa. Eventually all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring time. So this is how it is. So in the context of this verse, first Kauravas, we know that, were adharmic, the way they acted towards Pandavas. Pandavas were very dharmic, very religious, pious. First, everything was tried to make peaceful solution, try to reach a peaceful agreement before the beginning of war. This was the endeavor. And only after that proposal was rejected by the Kauravas, war was declared. There was no other choice. And beyond that, so Bhagavad-gītā is teaching, it's all philosophical instructions, teaching. Viratupa is not really eternal form of the Lord. It is there, but it is not there in the spiritual world. This form of Viratupa, it doesn't exist here. So when we speak spiritual world, Vaikuntha, Goloka, Vaikuntha Lokas, Ayodhya Dhama, etc. So this Viratupa form is not there. It just serves the purpose in the material world. So this form, Rupa, is temporary revelation demonstrated by the Lord's vibhuti, opulences. So how he pervades everything and exists everywhere. So we know that Lord has this inconceivable potency. So it is this which is demonstrated by this form, this universal form, this Kala Rupa, this form of time, and that is the highlight. So in the next verse, Pungshva word has been used. So His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu explains that normally we don't use this, say that devotees should get into uh, sense enjoyment. You shouldn't enjoy this and that. Um, so we say that we are not meant to enjoy, but we are there to serve the Lord. Otherwise, it will be misuse of our senses, which is true. But we know that we come to understand that within this devotional service, also the service of the Lord, there is an enjoyment. So it is not that Krishna wants us to be deprived of all enjoyment. We do enjoy in our spiritual service, devotional service. But we should understand that real enjoyment is only possible, it only exists in the spiritual world, eternally. So as long as we are actively engaged in seeking enjoyment in the material level, on the material platform, we cannot relish enjoyment at spiritual level. So this like two that don't go together, mismatch. So also for a devotee, enjoyment within the service of the Lord, that is not material enjoyment, right? So because that service is happening at a spiritual platform. So here, by all this, we understand that Lord is trying to fix Arjuna's consciousness by giving knowledge instructions. And same instructions when we hear, our consciousness in devotional service is also fixed. So instead of doing contamination or doing contaminated activities of sense gratification, we engage everything, our senses also in devotional service, and that is how we seek pleasure or enjoyment. So in this world, whatever God wanted to do, He can do without us also. We understand that. So if Krishna wanted to build something, a big giant temple or temples everywhere, He could do that. He is absolute truth. He's full in everything. His opulences are in full, 100%. So He can do anything. He's Bhagwan. Um, so what we understand from here is that the outcome, the results are already fixed by Krishna. What is going to happen, that is there. He has a plan. It's going to be fixed. But Krishna is not concerned just for the results at material level. Krishna is concerned about our transformation, our Jivatma's transformation, who has come into this material world, all those who surrender to the Lord, and all those who will surrender to the Lord in future. Um, they, so the existing devotees are like an example for the future possible devotees, the Jivatmas who will take to Krishna consciousness in future. So this Krishna is concerned about our transformation at spiritual level also. So that we need to understand, because Arjuna also didn't say, okay, Krishna, I know that you are Bhagwan, you can do everything, so you can do, I'll just sit and enjoy. He didn't say that. He understood. So idea is not, so His Grace Chaitanya Prabhu, Chaitanya Sharan Prabhu explains that the idea, the intent here is not to give license, but assurance. That is, the Lord doesn't want to spoil us. The Lord wants to purify us. He wants us to take these purificatory processes, activities, this devotional service, and through this we can get rid of this conditioning, this contamination of this material illusory potency. So that Krishna is assuring Arjuna, there is a process. You follow the process. The results will come to you. You'll get the benefit. Just be my instrument. Just be an instrument, because the plan is already there. I've already done this. You just have to be part of this. Take the credit for it. So what we should do, what you should do, nimitta matram bhava savya sachin, just become an instrument. So since our intelligence and capacity is finite, so the result what can come is at the best mediocre. So but Krishna is infinite. So the results are, if we go according to His plan, the results are beyond what an individual person can do. And they are perfect in every sense. So we should become an instrument to God's plan, just an instrument to God's plan. God's plan is there, and that is what is going to happen. And Krishna has already done it. Here Arjuna just has to be an instrument and take part in this war under instructions of direction of Lord Krishna, and he just takes the credit for it. Our ability here is used and acknowledged in when we take to Krishna consciousness. Our ability is used and acknowledged and understood in devotee circle only. It is not that things are happening by chance, like materialists think and say. Everything is happening as per the perfect plan of the Lord. We just need to align our plan to that. And that is how everything becomes in sync and becomes pleasing to both Lord and us. So, but the thing is, how do we know what is God's plan? So His Grace Chaitanya Prabhu, he explains that Krishna's plan, there are broad aspects of it, and if we take care of these broad aspects, specific aspects, specific details can be taken care by the Lord. And when it is clear how to serve Krishna, what we should do is we should just serve him. When it is not clear, at that time, Krishna will give guidance. He will instruct us how to serve him. He will instruct us from our heart as Chaitya Guru, or he will instruct us from which is the Krishna's representative, the Guru who is outside. So this is how will guide us, inside and outside. Inside as Chaitya Guru, Paramatma, and outside he will guide us as Guru. So we have to have a Guru. We should follow his instructions. Um, so sometimes devotees struggle for, um, in say, for controlling senses. But after much endeavor, even if after trying so hard, if they are not successful, and that is the case, if that happens, and Prabhu says that such a scenario, such thing, such happening is because Krishna wants us, he wants us to realize that success comes by his grace, and he wanted us to really beg for it, understand the important significance of it, come to that realization. Then, once we realize that, then success will come. So, what Prabhu means to say is that Krishna gives us failures sometimes, that he can give us greater victory later. That also happens. Sometimes devotees face problem repeatedly, and that may be specific treatment for him or that individual from Krishna, just to fine tune that person, come to that realization, what is right, what is wrong, all that, so that they take deeper shelter and by that return to him. So Krishna doesn't want to lose us. He doesn't want to us to be here in this material world, enjoy material sense gratification. Um, he wants to take us. He wants the person to take deep shelter. Maybe the person is not following instruction or something, but if he comes to that realization, takes deep shelter, and that is what Krishna wants, then Krishna, and that is like after completing our service in this material world, we can then return to him in the spiritual world. So Prabhu gives his Grace Chaitanya Prabhu gives an example of Jatayu. He tried, he failed when he was trying to uh, fight against Ravana. But Jatayu won against the battle against Maya. Although he lost the battle in a sense when he tried, he died fighting with Ravana. But he actually won the battle against Maya. He went back to the spiritual world. So in our Krishna consciousness, sometimes we may lose the fight against Maya, but we should not lose the fighting spirit, the hope against winning against Maya. So we should continue. There is always opportunity to serve Krishna, no matter what happens, no matter what the circumstances are. So that is how we should take it on a positive note. So in the next shloka, some great warriors from the opposite side are mentioned. So, and Krishna has given assurance to Arjuna, you know, all these warriors on both sides are already killed by me. They're already destroyed. You just have to be an instrument, fight as per my instructions. That is all what you have to do, and you take the credit for it. So Krishna was worried about, he was lamenting, if I do this, fight my friends and teacher and everybody, I'll incur sin. So he had that. So Krishna is already saying, these are already killed. I have a plan. These are already killed. You like it or not, this is already done. Just follow my instructions, surrender, and you just take the credit for it. Just be an instrument. So Drona, we understand he had celestial weapons. He was Arjuna's teacher. He taught him the science of archery. Um, and Arjuna was very dear to him. He was very dear to his guru, and to Arjuna, his guru, was also very dear. So Bhishma Pitama also had various celestial weapons, and he had this boon: he could die as per his wish whenever he wanted to. Um, uh, it is detailed that he actually fought Lord Parshurama also, and that fight went on for very long, and he didn't lose at that time. Also, he was not defeated. So he's that powerful. Um, so like that, there are many. The Jayadratha is performed a lot of penance, and with the boon or resolve, he wanted that anybody, father of Jayadratha, that his son, he wanted this boon or resolve that the head, anybody who kills or causes the head of his son to fall on the ground, that man should also fall, right? That is what he wanted. He wanted that anybody causes the head of his son to fall on the ground, that person's head also should fall, right? Um, so, but we know from the outcome of this Kurukshetra war that Arjuna may, he uses his arrow. He's a sharpshooter, cuts the head and drops it on the lap of his father, Jayadratha's father. So that intelligent how he was, not only skillful in archery, he was very intelligent, and so he makes it because his father had that boon, so he makes his head fall on the ground. So Jayadratha's father also died. Karna is you know uh, born from the uh, he's actually son of the sun god. Kunti Devi got this boon, special mantras and boon, and Karna was born. So Karna, he also had some weapons from Lord Indra, and he actually had this kavacha from the sun god, so which made him very invincible, and he was protected because of that. So that is how it is. Um, so so the instruction is Lord Krishna is saying that just be an instrument in my hand, right? Just follow my instructions. I have a plan. You just fine tune your plan according to that plan. I have already actually killed warriors on both the sides. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to be an instrument, follow my instructions, act accordingly, and take the credit for this. That's all. So, so Srila Prabhupada gives this detail. Um, Lord, just like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he's Krishna himself. He came in a Kali Yuga, and he wanted that he's Bhagwan himself. So if he wanted, because he wanted to spread his name and mission all over the world, and he's giving the solution for Kali Yuga, and but still he gave instructions, or he depended upon his devotees to do all his work in Kali Yuga. So the most important aspects of the Supreme Lord's self-sufficiency is that he depends on his devotees. This is called his causeless mercy. The devotee who has perceived this causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by realization can understand the master and the servant, right? So there is a devotee. Actually, our constitutional position is that we are eternally servant of the Lord, and Lord is our master. We just have to serve him. So another example, we understand that Hanumanji, the servant of Lord Ramachandra, is another example. It was Hanumanji who jumped all over the ocean in one leap and reached the shore of Lanka from the shore of Bharatvarsha. When Lord Ramachandra chose to go there, he paved the way with stones. Although by his will, the stones were able to float on the sea. So we simply have to follow Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions and follow the footsteps of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Nityananda Prabhu. And, and this Krishna consciousness movement can advance, and even more difficult tasks can be performed by the preachers remaining faithful to the service of the Lord. We just have to follow this, and we will be successful in the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If that is what our intention is, that is what we are trying. So, that is how it is. So thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Thanks for joining. Please join again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.